In the heart of the quiet town, nestled between towering oaks, stood an age-old church with a storied past. As a curious soul, I found myself drawn to the enigmatic tales that whispered through the hallowed halls. Little did I know that my exploration of these sacred spaces would lead me to encounters with the supernatural, leaving indelible marks on my spiritual journey. The first eerie tale unfolded in the church's ancient cemetery. Under the waning moonlight, tombstones stood like silent sentinels, weathered by the passage of time. As I wandered among the graves, a spectral figure materialized before me. Its ethereal form moved between the tombstones, a silent guardian of the departed. The air thickened with an unspoken presence, and a chill ran down my spine. In that sacred moment, I felt a connection bridging the realms of the living and the dead. Another haunting story emerged within the shadowed confines of the church's choir loft. As the organ's notes resonated through the air, I witnessed an apparition, a spectral choir that materialized, their voices harmonizing with an otherworldly beauty. The ethereal singers seemed to transcend the physical, weaving a tapestry of melody that echoed through the ages. It was a celestial symphony that left me both awe-inspired and humbled. In the candlelit nave, where centuries of prayers lingered in the air, a third encounter unfurled. As I knelt in silent contemplation, the atmosphere shifted. Unseen hands seemed to brush against my own, a gentle reminder of the divine presence that permeated the sacred space. It was a moment of spiritual communion, a connection between the mortal and the transcendent, leaving me with a profound sense of peace. Yet, not all encounters within the church were benevolent. In the quiet solitude of the sacristy, I stumbled upon a centuries-old tome that spoke of a dark chapter in the church's history. It recounted tales of a malevolent entity, a shadow that preyed on the faith of unsuspecting worshippers. Skeptical yet intrigued, I delved deeper into the mysterious accounts, uncovering a narrative of spiritual strife that left me both fascinated and apprehensive. As I reflect on these haunting church stories, a moral lesson crystallizes in the sacred silence. Each encounter, whether ethereal choir or spectral guardian, serves as a testament to the interconnectedness of the spiritual and the earthly. These stories beckon us to approach places of worship with humility and reverence, recognizing that the divine may manifest in unexpected ways. In the heart of the sacred, we must cultivate an openness to the mysteries that defy explanation. These encounters, whether uplifting or disconcerting, prompt us to navigate our spiritual journeys with an unwavering faith and a respectful acknowledgement of the supernatural forces that may linger within the sanctuaries of our beliefs. As I continue to explore the hallowed spaces of churches, the stories of spectral choirs, ethereal guardians, and malevolent shadows linger in my consciousness. They remind me that within the quietude of sacred places, a delicate dance between the seen and the unseen unfolds, offering glimpses into the ethereal tapestry that weaves through the fabric of our existence. In the solemn sanctuary of a centuries-old church, I found myself immersed in an atmosphere of reverence and spiritual contemplation. Little did I know that this sacred space would soon become the backdrop for a chilling encounter that would defy the boundaries of the divine. The evening began like any other church gathering, hymns echoing through the hallowed halls, candles flickering in prayerful rhythm. The congregation, bathed in the soft glow of dimmed lights, swayed in unison, surrendering to the spiritual embrace that permeated the air. As the sermon reached its crescendo, a subtle unease crept over me. The air thickened with an unspoken tension, and a shadow seemed to materialize in the corner of my vision. My senses heightened, and a palpable chill ran down my spine. Suddenly, the tranquility shattered. In the midst of fervent prayers, I felt an unseen force gripping my shoulders, cold and unyielding. Panic surged through me as an otherworldly presence seemed to envelop the sanctuary. The once harmonious hymns transformed into haunting whispers that echoed through the sacred space. Struggling against the unseen assailant, I found myself caught in a spiritual maelstrom. The congregation continued their prayers, oblivious to the silent struggle unfolding within the sanctuary's sacred confines. My attempts to break free were met with an otherworldly resistance, as if an unseen force sought to silence my very soul. In the flickering candlelight, I glimpsed a shadowy figure, a spectral manifestation that defied explanation. Its eyes gleamed with an otherworldly malevolence, fixated on me with an intensity that transcended the realm of the natural. The haunting whispers intensified, weaving a dark tapestry of fear and uncertainty. As the spiritual battle raged on, the congregation remained immersed in their devotions, oblivious to the silent struggle in their midst. The ethereal assailant seemed to feed on my fear, its spectral form contorting with an otherworldly rage. In the hallowed sanctuary, I felt a profound disconnect between the divine and the malevolent forces at play. In a final, desperate plea for deliverance, I uttered a prayer, invoking the protective light of the divine. The congregation's prayers, once distant echoes, now crescendoed in unison, drowning out the haunting whispers that had ensnared me. The spectral figure recoiled, dissipating into the shadows from whence it came. In the aftermath of this harrowing ordeal, I emerged from the sanctuary, shaken and spiritually exhausted. The congregation, oblivious to the supernatural clash that had unfolded, continued their worship, their faith undeterred by the invisible battle that had transpired. The moral lesson gleaned from this unsettling church encounter is a stark reminder of the spiritual warfare that can permeate even the holiest of spaces. It urges us to remain vigilant in our spiritual journey, recognizing that unseen forces may test our faith in unexpected ways. In moments of darkness, the power of prayer and unwavering faith can serve as a beacon of light, dispelling the shadows that seek to engulf us. As I reflect on that nightmarish evening within the sacred walls of the church, I carry with me a newfound understanding of the complexities that exist beyond the tangible world. The ordeal became a catalyst for spiritual introspection, prompting me to approach my faith with a renewed sense of reverence and a heightened awareness of the unseen forces that may linger in the shadows of the divine. In the heart of a small town, where centuries-old oaks cast dappled shadows on cobblestone streets, stood a church with a history steeped in mystery. My curiosity led me to explore the whispers that echoed through the sacred halls, but little did I anticipate the unsettling encounter with a pastor whose enigmatic presence blurred the lines between the spiritual and the supernatural. As I entered the church, the air carried a weight of centuries-old prayers, and the flickering candles illuminated the timeless beauty of stained glass. The congregation, wrapped in the warmth of familiar hymns, seemed oblivious to the peculiarity that surrounded their spiritual leader. Pastor Ezekiel, a man of indistinct origin, arrived in the town like a whisper carried by the wind. His eyes, an enigmatic shade of hazel, seemed to harbor secrets that transcended the mortal realm. The townsfolk spoke in hushed tones about the mysterious pastor, whose sermons invoked both reverence and an unspoken unease. One Sunday, as the congregation bowed their heads in prayer, I noticed Pastor Ezekiel's gaze fixed upon an ancient tapestry that adorned the chancel. The intricately woven threads depicted scenes from a bygone era, but something about the pastor's fixation hinted at a connection beyond the mundane. After the service, I approached Pastor Ezekiel, my curiosity piqued. As our eyes met, I felt a chill in the air, a subtle acknowledgement that there was more to this man than met the eye. The pastor, though amiable, seemed guarded, his responses veiled in cryptic metaphors that left me with more questions than answers. In the weeks that followed, the town's atmosphere shifted. Strange occurrences, whispered to be linked to the pastor's presence, cast a shadow over the once tranquil community. Witnesses spoke of spectral figures wandering the churchyard at night, drawn by an otherworldly force that seemed to emanate from the enigmatic pastor. One moonlit evening, I decided to unravel the mysteries that surrounded Pastor Ezekiel. As I approached the church, the creaking door echoed through the nave, and the flickering candles cast long shadows on the ancient walls. Pastor Ezekiel stood before the centuries-old tapestry, his hazel eyes reflecting the subdued light. In a hushed voice, the pastor revealed fragments of a tale woven into the fabric of time. He spoke of a vow made centuries ago, a pact with forces beyond mortal comprehension. The tapestry, an artifact of mystical significance, bound him to a duty that transcended the constraints of human understanding. The town's unease, I learned, stemmed from a spiritual equilibrium disrupted by the pastor's presence. As the guardian of the ancient tapestry, he navigated a delicate balance between realms, bearing the weight of an otherworldly responsibility that defied mortal comprehension. The moral lesson gleaned from the mysterious pastor's tale is a reminder that some mysteries are not meant for unraveling. In the quest for understanding, we must approach the enigmatic with humility and respect, recognizing that the supernatural may coexist with the sacred. The tapestry, a metaphor for the interconnected threads of our existence, teaches us that the fabric of life weaves intricate patterns, both seen and unseen. As I left the church that fateful night, Pastor Ezekiel's hazel eyes held a silent acknowledgement of the shared secret between us. The town, though still shrouded in whispers, began to find solace in the understanding that some mysteries are meant to be embraced rather than unraveled. The enigmatic pastor, guardian of the ancient tapestry, stood as a testament to the delicate dance between the spiritual and the mysterious that resides within the hallowed walls of the church.